Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm gonna be giving you part 2 of What If Naruto Was, created by Mother Nature to protect the universe. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and don't forget to go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What if Naruto was a Fuinjutsu and Genjutsu prodigy with a mysterious dojutsu? And I enjoyed that, guys. And remember, if you're new, yes, I indeed have 4 channels, which I post what if on every single day for guys to enjoy. Link will be down in the description, so go ahead, check them out, and yeah, enjoy. And comment to have your what if be done over an anime symbol, so yeah. Without further ado, what do you say we jump right into this? Begin now, guys. So the last spot we left off, two powerful entities was arguing as one of them broke away. She decided to do something that would change everything, as she was going to create a champion. On that very night, Senju Tsunade was currently feeling empty. She had Shizune, but she wanted someone that she could have as a child. Yes, she wanted a child, but well, so far her whole expectation seemed to be a miss, as she had lost the love of her life. There isn't anyone that she felt comfortable with to do something like this. Even though Dan passed away some time ago, she felt like she was betraying him. She didn't know why. Shizune called out to her as she stepped to go towards her until the sky darkened, the cloud started to release electricity. She was hit by it. Tsunade woke up in an empty void as she heard a voice speaking to her. The voice warned her to guide the individual and stray him away from the path of darkness. Emotions are the strongest, and if that was to happen, if he was to stray, they would all be doomed. When she woke up, she didn't know why, but she felt like she was pregnant. Shizune was confused. She and Lady Tsunade had been together for some time now, so she highly doubt that was possible given, well, either Tsunade had been sneaking out and doing things behind her back. However, to their utter shock, she was. And 9 months later, he was born. Golden hair. However, his truly defining feature was his eyes. They looked like two balls of sun, exploding with power. As she decided to name him Naruto. She didn't know why, but she always liked that name. Maybe it was because it was the only book that the pervert wrote that didn't have anything perverted in it, as she was doing that one for her old teammate, Jiraiya. So with that, a few years passed, as Naruto was now 6 years old. Tsunade was throwing a ball towards him that was attached to her wrist by a cord, as she was training him how to dodge. Naruto was fast for his age. He was remarkable for his age. His mother had told him how he came on this earth, how special he was, and those were some big expectations to fill, but she never pressured him. She just told him that he was meant for greatness. Something that Naruto believed might be true as well, because he was special. He had an obscene amount of chakra, and he had great chakra control. However, it didn't come that easy though. His mother trained him, she helped him. His big sister Shizune was by his side, always. As Naruto was grown and raised by them, they moved around a few times. Naruto had a little puppy that he found. It was a mix between a dog and a wolf. After giving his mother the puppy dog eyes, she allowed him to keep him, as Naruto called him Silver because of his silver eyes. His mother had went out as she was helping some people in a town, something that he highly appreciated her for. That is why she was one of his greatest heroes. Naruto ventured out. However, at that moment, a team from Kumo had been separated. The host of the Two Tails, Yujito, was facing off against a man known as Asahi. He was very powerful and very fast, as he had stole something that he shouldn't have. However, she was not enough to beat him. She would have died, but Naruto had jumped in and saved her. When she used the Tail Beast's power, he realized how worthy she was for him to use or probably sell. He was going to take her, but Naruto stepped in and started to fight him. However, Asahi was just too strong as they start to be pressured down, as Naruto allowed him to slash him up. As he stayed there and waited till Asahi stabbed him, Naruto then gripped his arm tightly now that he had him, as he put in everything in his punch. His fist started to glow golden as he slammed it into Asahi's face. Naruto then rushed forward and slammed his punch once again into him, but this time, he broke his limit and went past 100%. Asahi was sent sailing as Yujito rushed towards Naruto. He was injured from the stab, and not to mention all the cuts. However, one of Asahi's partners arrived, but he was screwed as Tsunade sent him sailing with a punch. Naruto was healed by the forest. Yes, the foliage and the leaves, they came forward and they healed him to everyone's surprise. Tsunade had healed Yujito because she saw she was trying to protect her son. The team was surprised when they heard her say son. No one knew that Lady Tsunade, the greatest medic, had a child. When they returned to Kumo, they informed the Raikage of this, as he was now having this information and he could spread it, and well, she would be targeted. No one wanted another Hoshirama Senju, and not to mention the kid has already shown signs of the Mokidan. So that was rather a big topic. However, the Raikage was unlike his father and he wanted to start something new in the proper way. So he had yet to fully made up his mind. A few months passed since then as Naruto was meditating. Tsunade wondered if what he was drawing on was natural energy, but she's felt natural energy. She felt the presence of it in Jiraiya, but this was not like it. So she was not quite sure what it was. However, she knew that Naruto was special. After all, he was a blessed from the heavens, a blessed thing that gave her life meaning. So yeah, she continued on training him, helping him understand and gaining better perspective over what he was doing, as Naruto was thankful for the help. At the village, Hiruzen had heard rumors Jiraiya came to him. Tsunade had a son. That was rather shocking as Jiraiya could not believe it himself. He had to find out. Who did Tsunade had a child with? He must know, as Hiruzen also gave him the mission to find her, to find out what is going on now that she had a child. She would be vulnerable to attacks out there, and to keep him protected. So Jiraiya headed off. So yeah guys, basically that's what I thought. If you guys can switch across to please check it out for yourself. Remember to go ahead and check out the other episodes over the other channels. If you're new, yes I indeed have 4 of them which I post what I fun every single day for you guys enjoy. So go ahead, destroy that red subscribe button and become a part of the Making family. So without further ado or wasting more time, let's jump right into this. Begin now guys. We begin this episode on an empty field, as something was moving fast. This thing was none other than Naruto Senju, as he threw himself back. The reason being, as he looked upwards, his mother was coming down, her leg extended. Naruto bent his knees and threw himself back as fast as he could. However, when her feet touched the ground, Tsunade was able to erase the impact completely. That was how excellent her control was. As she shot forward, Naruto was now caught. Her fist pulled back as she threw it forward. Naruto slammed his right leg into the ground. As he turned on his left, he spun his hand around and threw it forward with as much force as possible. The two colliding fists slam, but they did not meet. Just the pressure between them started to crack and destroy the ground. Naruto started to grit his teeth and push. Their fists had not connected yet. The pressure between them was sinking them lower and lower. Tsunade was smiling the entire time as she increased the force. Naruto's feet pushed into the earth rather deeply as she moved forward. As his feet pushed back once again, Naruto tried to hold on and brace himself until she extended her reach. He was sent sailing through the air as he slammed right into a tree. Naruto slid down and dropped right on his butt. Tsunade climbed out of the crater as she stepped towards him as his head was spinning. "Trust me, Naruto-kun," she said. "You are strong, extremely so for your age, but you haven't reached me just yet." "I'll remember that," said Naruto, as his head was still spinning. Over to the side, Shizune was watching as Silver was by her side. Shizune looked over the field that was once plush and filled. Now, it was filled with holes and craters all over. "They're sure destructive," she said. Tauntaun oink as she was on the back of Silver, who barked. It has been a few months. Rumors and speculations had went around the elemental nation like a wildfire. Tsunade had upped Naruto training ever since. Her being the last Senju, Tsunade had taken all of the important documents and scrolls from the Senju compound a long time ago. It was her birthright. Back then she had no idea why she took them, but she did. And now, she had a reason to use them. Her grand-uncle was the world's greatest water manipulator in history. Yes, and her grandfather was the only one to have the strongest bloodline ever, the Mokiton. In terms of physical ability, there is no other that surpasses it. None. She had taken all the scrolls and she didn't know why back then, but now it seems like it was all fated for her to do so. Time skip. Naruto was in the backyard of the house that they were in. There were many different compounds that were located all around. They were all owned by the Senju. Some of them were just small houses that were used by them long time ago in the war. Some of them were still standing. Majority of them that the family stayed at, as Naruto got a peaceful time to train. Naruto was more connected than ever after he had met the monks that trained Hashirama, well, the head monk that is, as the man had teach him how to connect with himself, how to feel nature. The monks were connected to Buddha. Hashirama techniques, majority of them were based off of that. And they were the ones that helped him achieve Sage Mode. Sage Mode could not be achieved regularly by anyone. It could not just be learned. However, Hashirama's specialist cells to this day were proven to be very exquisite. As Naruto was not aware of such information though. At the moment though, he had his eyes closed. As he felt the wind rushing through his hair, there was a scroll in front of him. It was unraveled. As Naruto had his two hands interlocked, the ground in front of him, apart from the scroll, started to creep and crack open. Slowly but surely, as Naruto's presence and chakra rushed into the earth. A tree started to form, tiny at first, as it slowly built up. When Naruto opened his eyes, it was about the size of his hand. He was delighted. Things were coming along well. His manipulation over plants were completely above what Hashirama used to do, from what his mother had told him. Because unlike his great-grandfather, Naruto did not need hand signs for several aspects of manipulating plants. He had not tried any techniques, but he could manipulate the plants and trees. He could also grow the trees without using any hand sign. He could feel it. He could feel it in the earth. A spear seed, a sapling, that his chakra excel by an exponential rate. The seed in the ground that was planted by him a moment ago though, and he had covered it up. However, he could feel the others around him. As Naruto turned, he saw formations in the ground. The others that he had pushed chakra out. He realized that he had a radius. However, he was getting stronger, and the more stronger he got, the more control he had. However, the scroll in front of him now, that was something else. He had all 5 natures, but his water manipulation was great. His mother said that, in due time, he can even surpass her grand-uncle. Tobirama had told her stories. He never had such a strong water affinity when he was Naruto's age, as it took him a while to reach up to this level, and Naruto was already so far. There was a pond nearby, as Naruto feel the source. He could feel the stream, he could feel everything. His eyes locked on it. Unaware to him, his eyes started to glow. His golden eyes, like the sun themselves, started to glow. As Naruto willed his chakra to expand. In doing so, Naruto brought out a bubble out of the ocean. Well, the pond to be exact. Inside of that bubble was a fish. It was swimming around because there was water inside of it, as it seemed to just be doing its own thing. Naruto then squinted as it popped, and the fish fell back down. He jumped to his feet in celebration. It was coming much easier to him when he focused and relaxed. The monks were right. Once he focused and find a connection with everything that he intend to wield, he can feel it, almost reach out and grab it. He was sure that he would have these mastered in no time, he thought. Time skip. A few months later, his 13-year-old birthday would be coming up soon, and Naruto was looking forward to it. Around his neck was a necklace that Tsunade once wore. She had found him wearing it when she had taken it off, something that she rarely do, but Naruto was interested in it. It was very special, gifted to her by her grandfather. As Naruto had put it on when she saw him wearing it, she had went into a full-blown panic. However, Naruto was confused by it, so she sat him down. She believed the necklace was cursed her entire life. However, Naruto had merely laughed it off, thinking that she was joking, as he doubted that the necklace was cursed. In fact, something strange happened when she tried to take it off him, because he was making fun, and she got a bit serious. The necklace started to glow on him. When she released it, it stopped. She didn't know why, but there was this weird sensation like it belonged to him. As Naruto had felt it as well, he promised her that nothing would happen. If she was to gift him this, it was a gift from her. How could something she give him be cursed, when she's done nothing but help people her entire life? At the moment, Naruto was bored, as he didn't have much to do. His mother had went into town, her and Shizune, as they were on another case. They said that they will be back very soon. Him and Silver was currently outside, as Naruto was simply doing his own thing. Nothing really, as he was skipping stones along the water. There was a little reef, a stream up ahead, he could hear it. However, the last time he went on a stroll, he had to fight a missing Kumo ninja. Maybe that wasn't a good idea. As Naruto stood there, looking all around, something felt odd, strange. He was not sure what it was. That is when he heard something as he turned to see someone. Naruto was surprised. The place that he was at was very vacant, situated a distance away from the town, so he was surprised. It was a girl, a few years older than him, wearing standard civilian clothing. Naruto didn't know why though, as he felt really bad, like something was wrong, as he could not place it. "Hello there," she said. seeming out of breath, as the mountain was steep a bit. So he take it that she was out of breath because she had to walk all the way up here. It would be bothersome for a civilian. Thank God, I found someone, she said. As Naruto looked at her. What's wrong, he asked. I am lost. I was traveling with a few of my friends, and I can't seem to find them. We got separated. We were attacked by a giant bear in the forest. It came out of nowhere. I must say that I was afraid, so I ran. I don't even know if they're okay. She was getting frantic as Naruto stepped forward to comfort her until he felt something off. He felt evil intent as he stood where he was, as she started to cry. Naruto looked at her. She looked up with teary eyes. What's wrong, she said. Naruto narrowed his gaze. Silver started to bark at her. Who are you? Said Naruto. It seems like Silver felt it as well, as he growled, showing off his sharp teeth. What? I'm not gonna ask you again. Who are you? Said Naruto as he got into a stance. Her face got devoid of all emotion. Tuh, a smart brat, she said, her demeanor changing into a battle-ready individual. As Naruto narrowed his gaze towards her, he snapped his head to the side as someone landed to his left and then to his right. Huh. We finally found you, brat, she said. It took a lot of time and effort and money to track you down. And the right time as well, when your mommy's not here to protect you, Senju. As Naruto narrowed his eyes, trying to keep the three of them in his eyesight. However, the other two started to move. Their faces were covered by a mask unlike hers. Their clothing was all black. She tore the clothing that she had on to show that she was wearing a black bodysuit. I'm only gonna say this once. Come peacefully, and we won't hurt you. Well, you're shit out of luck because I'm not going anywhere with any of you, said Naruto. You asked for it, she said. She launched a kunai towards him. However, Naruto could tell that it was a distraction because that was not aimed towards him. He plummeted his fist into the earth, shooting up debris all over. With that, he shot towards her, his fist about to connect right in her stomach. However, she was fast as she reacted. She twists. She was now behind him as she brought her kunai down to stab him in the shoulder. That was until Silver slammed right into her, throwing her off. He then pounced as he reared his head back to bite into her. However, Silver was sent sailing by a kick from one of her assailants. Don't you touch him, said Naruto as he leaped forward, swinging his fists. The guy stepped back, avoiding Naruto's fists, until Naruto brought his leg up like he was about to run forward, but when he stepped into the earth with so much force, it exploded, shifting the guy's feet. He wasn't counting on that, as Naruto rammed forward. His head slammed into the guy's torso with tremendous force. He was wearing a body armor, but it cracked as Naruto flipped over him and landed behind him. He then dropped himself low and grabbed the guy's leg and pulled him. His face slammed into the ground as Naruto twisted him and threw him into his partner, who flipped over him and pulled out a tanto and slice. Naruto tilted. Some of his hair got sliced off. As he kept on dodging, that is when Silver jumped in and bit the guy on his feet, tearing flesh. The guy screamed out as Naruto jumped and slammed his fist across his face. His head snapped to the side hard. Silver then twisted as he picked the guy up with just his teeth in his flesh and threw him away, blood dripping on his fur. That is when Naruto was kicked rather roughly in the back. He cried out in pain as his body slammed across the ground. He rolled. The moment he got up, a feet slammed into his face, shattering his nose. He staggered back. Silver pounced upon her, but she spun around and sliced. Silver cried as Naruto saw blood. Silver! He cried out as the dog collapsed down to the ground. The one that Silver had bit stayed down, but the other one was able to get up to his feet as he was holding on to his chest in pain. I warned you, brat, she said. If you'd have come nicely, you wouldn't have gotten hurt as I deliver you. But yet you had to fight. But I must say, for a kid that seemed to be what, 12 or 13, you're quite the force to be reckoned with. I can only imagine how much stronger you would get in a couple of years. I can see now why my boss wants you so much. And I intend to deliver, she said. As she was speaking, she did not notice a look on Naruto's face as Silver seemed to be barely breathing as Naruto's eyes was fixated on his friend, one of his closest friends. He clenched his fists, tearing the soil. What have you done? Said Naruto. Well, if you'd have listened. You bitch, said Naruto. My. Such a nasty word. Now what did I do to deserve that? She said in a mocking tone. Sorry, but I must hurry this up. I wouldn't want your mother to be coming here and ruining my fun. No need. Because I'm gonna kill you, said Naruto. He snapped his gaze up. That is when she saw it. His golden eyes turned red, like blood itself. The wind started to blow. It started to blow hard. The other guy behind her turned as he looked around. Something's wrong, he said. The leaf off the tree started to fall. The tree was now a thorn. Yes, pointy and so deadly. The thorns were long. As the plants did not die, they just turned dark, poisonous, and deadly. The place was filled with this ominous feeling. As Naruto rose up to his feet, how dare you hurt him? He did nothing to you. We did nothing to you, and yet you tried to kill us. To kill my friend. I'm gonna kill you, said Naruto, as he clenched his fist so tight his palm started to bleed. I'll kill you where you stand. His hair started to turn black. Something was wrong. The ground started to break away. The plants started to die. The atmosphere itself seemed like it was filled with death. Meanwhile, Tsunade didn't know why, but she remembered that strange dream that she had. However, a few words came to mind. Do not let him stray into the darkness, or it will be the end of everything. She snapped her gaze up, Shizune looking towards her. What's wrong? We need to get back. Now. What's wrong, Tsunade-sama? I don't know. I just have this feeling, she said, as they quickly made their way back. Meanwhile, the woman stepped away from Naruto, who was now fully on his feet. A tainted black aura started to reverberate across his body, as his hair was not fully black, but it was getting there. The step that he took, the ground seemed to be decaying as he walked. The plants around him dying. The life around him seemed to be dying. Everything was growing dark. Thunder clouds started to gather up ahead. Lightning started to cackle through them. The pond started to boil. The guy that was with her looked towards his partner on the ground. I think we should get out of here. What? She said. We're so close. There's no way. Look out! She turned. Just in time she twisted and dodged Naruto's fists. She felt the force and her eyes went wide, as she felt like her face was being torn off by the force alone. Naruto landed as his fist slammed into the earth. She cried out as thorns came from the earth itself and wrapped her in her leg. They then ripped, tearing into her flesh. She jumped away on one leg, fear in her eyes, as Naruto started to walk towards her. That is when a growl could be heard. Silver got up. He even seemed bigger than before. His wound was no longer bleeding. His silver fur started to turn black. His silver eyes turning red. His whole body becoming more ferocious. His fangs extending. All of his other teeth getting large. Black lightning started crackling around his body as both him and Naruto walk. Despite them just being a child and a dog, fear shocked these three. The guy on the ground was in pain. His ankle had been ripped out. His face had been smashed in by Naruto as he was in the most pain. Her leg was barely holding up. What the hell is this kid? The other guy said. They tried to step back. However, Naruto slammed his hand in the ground. That is when hundreds of thorns appear behind them. They leap, however. They were caught. The thorns wrapping around them. There were so much of them. She tried to cut her way out, but the more she moved, the more they tore into her flesh. Silver barked as electricity came from his bark. The three of them screamed out as they were hit. She cried in pain as her head slumped. She looked up, her whole body quaking, the other two trembling in fear as Naruto red eyes locked on them. Don't do this, she said. I didn't want to do this. This was a mission. I was forced into it. I'm sorry, kid. Don't do this, she begged for her life. You tried to kill my friend. And now, I'm gonna do what I said I was gonna do. Naruto clenched his fists. Her and her partners scream out as the thorns start to rip into their flesh. The blood started to be soaked into the thorns. As Naruto was smiling as he did so, his fists clenching tighter and tighter. The clouds start to pour rain. Lightning started to clash. The whole area was filled with this ominous presence. As Naruto clenched his fist even more, the one on the left was ripped into pieces. Her eyes went wide as blood and gore spread everywhere, flashing in her face as well. She realized that she was going to die. She thought that she could do this. However, it was her death sentence. As Naruto held his hand up and clenched it, her partner on the right screamed out as a thorn tore into his throat. Naruto stepped forward, as the look in his eye was one of enjoyment, something that was completely beyond his character that has been shown up to this point. Silver seemed to be feeding off this negative emotion because he was becoming larger. His fur was growing more wild and chaotic. Naruto stepped forward until he was close enough. She was forced down to her knees as the thorns tear into her kneecaps. As he grabbed her by the face, holding on to it, tears were leaking from her eyes. He then moved his face towards her ear. I told you, I was gonna kill you where you stood. She cried out as they tore into her arm, as they started to tear deeper into her torso. He was prolonging her suffering. Naruto! Naruto spun around as he saw his mother standing there. His hand lessened as he saw her. The darkness that was overtaking his hair started to thin out. Even Silver seemed to be calming down, reacting to Naruto's presence. The girl's head hung down low, as she was losing too much blood. She wouldn't survive. Mom, said Naruto, as he looked at her like he was confused. Naruto did not understand what was going on. What am I doing? He looked towards his hands as they became so blurry. He then fell. His mother rushed forward and caught him. As Silver also passed out as well, his fur returning back to normal. All the clouds vanished away. As Naruto was out cold, Tsunade turned her head towards the woman. Shizune checked her pulse. She was dead. The others were in pieces, ripped like chunks of meat. Time skip. When Naruto woke up, The first word that came to his mind. Huh. It's like deja vu, he said. Tsunade, who was looking down towards her boy. Yes, it feels like, she said, as she remembered when he had saved that girl from Kumo. What happened? Said Naruto, confused. I was wondering if you could tell me. Where's Silver? Said Naruto, looking around. Don't worry, he's alright. She gestured, as Silver was right beside the bed. Naruto breathed a sigh of relief as he was still sleeping. I didn't go anywhere, Mom, I promise. I know, she said. Just tell me what happened. This girl. She appeared out of nowhere. She was acting like she was in distress. But I had this bad feeling, so I stepped away from her and asked her who she was. That is when she showed me her true colors. She said that her employee wanted me. I'm not sure what she was talking about. She attacked me, and she hurt Silver. And I felt this rage that I've never felt before. I'm not sure what happened after that. It was like I was not in control anymore. I could feel myself, but images and sounds. I could barely see anything, but I could hear screams. They were all so confusing. You saved me, right? Said Naruto. Tsunade realized that he did not remember. In that moment, she could save him away from the horrendous world that they live in. However, him being a Senju, it wouldn't last for too long. Something happened to you, she said. What do you mean? I'm not sure myself, but you are not acting like yourself. Whatever happened, it seemed to alter your whole personality. I doubt that you would have done such a thing. Rage took over, and that is when I found you. What happened to them? Said Naruto. You know what happened, she said. I killed them, he said. She nodded her head. But I don't remember. I know, she said. It's best if you don't. I'm not sure what is going on, but we'll find out together, she said. Thanks, Mom, said Naruto. But why were they after me? Tsunade sighed. I was hoping that this wouldn't happen, but because of your last name and me being your mother, things will never be that easy, Naruto. I told you before that in the past, because of my grandfather, the Senjus were feared. What I did not tell you was, every child that was born with the name Senju after that was targeted, hunted by nations, because they fear the repercussions of the Mokidan ever reawaken ever again. And you were found out by the other nations. They know of your existence, they know that you're out there. That is why I've increased your training so much, to make sure that you're ready for the problems that you'll have to face. With your title, it would never be that easy, she said to him. The world, it doesn't like change. And with someone of your talents, at such a young age, they will target you at the best of their ability. But look at me, she said as she held on to him. I will do everything in my power to make sure that you are protected. Because no matter what happens, I'll keep you safe. And you can count on that. But Mom, said Naruto, you won't always be there. I know. And that is why I'll teach you everything I can and make sure that you can protect yourself in those situations. Until then, I will be the one to protect you, she said. I have no idea how they found us. I never thought that they would actually find you all the way up here. It seems like you will be accompanying me more often than usual, she said to him. Okay, said Naruto. She was surprised. I thought I would have get a little protest for that, she said to him. You're right, Mom, said Naruto. I'm not strong enough yet. Because I lost myself. And I wasn't able to even see what happened. When Silver got hurt, I just got so angry. I want to make sure that he never get hurt again. I want to make sure no one I love ever get hurt again. So until I can, I'll have the world's strongest watch over me. And then, once I'm strong enough, I'll be the one to protect you and big sister Shizune. And Silver as well. I won't let anyone hurt any of you. And that's a promise. Tsunade smiled as she couldn't help but reach up and pinch his cheek. Come on, Mom, said Naruto. I can't help it. Just my big strong baby. I'm so proud, she said, teasing him as she tried to lighten the situation. It worked as Naruto smiled. It took his mind off what happened. She didn't want him to be thrust into that world, but that world was thrust upon him from the moment he was born. And there was nothing they could do about it. Time skip. Jiraiya of the Sanin finally got a good lead. He's been searching for Tsunade for a couple of months now, but she's been on the move. However, he finally got a good lead on where she was. Between his spies and him gathering information, he finally found her. And he was happy too because a part of him was actually feeling a bit bad for himself, that is. Because he never thought that Tsunade would be with anyone else after Dan. And if she was going to be with someone, why not him? So he wanted to see this child for himself. He would truly like to know who she had a child with. The rumors are getting so strong. Some of them must be ridiculous. They say that the child has full mastery over Mokidon already. Jiraiya knew that this would just put a target on his head. So it's best if they came back to Konoha. Well, Sensei has been looking forward to the opportunity of retiring. Maybe Tsunade could take the title. Time skip. At the Hidden Leaf Village. Today was a big day. It was her first C-rank mission. Yes, her first C-rank. Her name was Mito Uzumaki. She was a special girl. She was 13 years old at the moment. And this was her first C-rank. She was placed on a team with Sasuke Uchiha, as he was the last Uchiha within the village, said to be a young prodigy, and one of her friends, Sakura Haruno. The girl and her was friends. Maybe it was because she was the only girl that was not fawning over Sasuke, and Sakura would have been against anyone else on the team that fawned over Sasuke. However, today was a big day, as she tied her headband. Her life had not been the greatest. For a majority of her life she was alone, until she met a few people that was there for her. She found out the reason why the villagers always gave her looks. They never tried to hurt her, but they just ignored her like she wasn't there. And that was so painful. She always tried to be noticed, but they just pretended like she was an anomaly. Something that was not meant to be. So she trained. She trained and trained and trained and trained until she was strong enough. Her bright red hair stick out like a sore thumb. However, she was special in more ways than one. She possessed a strong ability. She had no idea how she had it, but she was the only one that did. She could use chakra chains. Chains that were getting stronger and stronger the more chakra she used. However, if they were cut in that state, it dipped her levels of chakra, and that she didn't like. But she was becoming more flexible on using them. Her sensei has been teaching her how to attack with them. It was crazy that he knew how to do it, because she's never seen anyone else with this ability. Well, he didn't know much, but he could help her in certain ways. Defend herself in that. She also had the 9 heals inside of her, which made her hated by majority of the villagers. But she had some friends though. She was a modest girl who said what was on her mind, as she did not like to keep things to herself that made her bottle up. She was still angry about the treatment of the past. However, she was trying to push past that because her dream was to become the first female Hokage of the village. And the strongest, she would surpass all the others. And nothing will stop her. As her and her team headed out towards their first C-rank mission, they were going towards the land of Wave. Time skip. Jiraiya finally arrived towards the town. The first places that he checked was the gambling halls, but she was nowhere to be seen, so he checked the bars. Surprisingly though, the last one that he checked was where he found her. At the moment, Tsunade was inside of a bar. Since the birth of Naruto, she had not drank a single sip while she was carrying Naruto, but since his birth, she started to drink once again, but nothing like before. And she did not really gamble that much. Strangely enough, she was not affected by blood as much since the day that she found Naruto all bloody. When she had punched away that guy to protect him, she did not even notice about the blood because she was so worried about her son. And it was actually helping her. Her hemophobia was ticking away little by little, something that she was grateful for. As Naruto was just a cure of everything. She no longer excess over gambling, she no longer excess over drinking. She had a drink every now and then. She had a really difficult case with this spring of virus that was spreading in the town. She had to make sure her little family was protected. However, she was able to find the cure for it. But it took her a while, as she's never faced something so repetitive and aggressive before. It did not look natural. It was almost like it was man-made. However, she was able to cure it. But she lost a little girl that she tried to save, but it was too late. They arrived too late. Good thing her baby boy was there for her to cheer her up, telling her that she had saved and she tried to save as much as she could. But she was not God. And she always tried her best, so she should not let this weigh her down. She was someone that was needed for this world. She was a bless upon this world. Because of her, a lot of people are alive right now. He always knew when to make her happy and make her feel so much better. And now she was having a little drink to herself, only to look up to see none other than Jiraiya, a big goofy grin on his face. "Finally, Tsunade," he said, with a toothy grin. "You have no idea how long I've been looking for you." She sighed. "What are you even doing here?" "Didn't you hear me? I've been looking for you," he said, as he sat down, waving the waitress over as he ordered a drink for himself. He was all smiles. "And what's so funny?" she asked. "Can't a man just be glad to meet up with his teammate after so long?" "Yes, you can be, but you're smiling too much." "Come on, there's nothing about smiling too much. I'm just happy," he said. "Spit it out. We both know that's not the reason that big goofy grin is on your face." Alright, you got me," he said. "When were you gonna tell me that you had a kid?" "So, you heard that," she said. "Well, almost every nation heard of it. The heir to the Senju clan. They're calling him the boy of miracles. I hope that's not a shot to my age," she said. "Oh, come on. You look as beautiful as you did back then," he said as he took a swig. However, as he got a bit more serious, "I'm surprised. I never thought that you of all person would have a child. I can't wait to meet him. You really think I'm gonna introduce him to someone like you? The greatest pervert to ever walk this land." "Well, yes, but I also am your teammate. So yeah, former, but still. I'm curious though, who's his father?" "He doesn't have any." "Oh," said Jiraiya. "So it's one of those." "No, it's not like that," she said. Jiraiya looked at her confused. What do you mean? He said. Well, it's a long story, she said to him. Well, we have time. Moments later, Jiraiya couldn't help but chuckle. You're joking, right? However, her face did not change in the slightest. Wait, so, wait, you're telling me that this boy was born without a father, like the lightning gave him to you? I'm not lying, you can ask Shizune. I wasn't with anyone. So as far as I'm concerned, Naruto is a miracle child. He's destined for greatness. Jiraiya leaned back in his chair. Holy shit, you're actually serious. As her face showed that she was. Holy shit, he yelled, as everyone turned towards them. He lowered himself back, causing her to glare at him. So, he just one moment nothing and next moment he's here? It was a normal pregnancy, she said. However, yes, there is no father. He breathed a sigh of relief. Why does that seem to take a whole lot of weight off your shoulders? Don't worry about that, he said. So where's little bugger? I can't wait to meet him. Time skip. Both Naruto and Shizune was currently practicing. Shizune threw the senbons as they hit the center of the targets. Naruto threw. 3 of them hit. The 4th one landed a bit up to the top. Good job, she said. A bit more practice, and it will make perfect. Thanks, Big Sis, said Naruto, as she was helping him with his senbon throwing. Kunais and shurikens were much easier. Senbons were much smaller and precise. So if he had control over this, it would be much easier for the larger ones. That is when Naruto sensed her. He was getting a lot better at that. Mom's back, he said, as he started to make his way. Wait, she's not alone. She's only narrowed her eyes, doubting that Tsunade would pick up a man and bring him here. As she did not believe that one bit. This guy's no joke, said Naruto. He has a lot of chakra. He's pretty strong, I can tell. As Shadow was beside Naruto as they made their way. As a large silver-haired man arrived, Naruto narrowed his gaze towards the man. As Jiraiya stepped forward. So this is him, huh? The man knelt to Naruto's level as he started to poke him. Excuse me, said Naruto. Whoa. I can't believe it, Jiraiya said. Naruto could sense no evil intentions from the man. That is why he allowed him so close without doing anything. He looked over at his mother. Naruto, I would like you to meet Jiraiya. So this is your teammate? Yep, you have that right, kid. The pervert, said Naruto. Jiraiya's face faltered at that. Huh, I guess you told him about me. Yeah, she did, said Naruto, as he motioned for Jiraiya to come close. Jiraiya did. What's up, kid? Touch my mom, and I'll kill you, said Naruto, in a sweet tone. Jiraiya felt shivers run down his spine. It was like Tsunade threatening him. As Naruto returned back to normal, Shizune and Tsunade liked the look on Jiraiya's face. Naruto's intimidation skills were getting a lot better. Later that night, as Naruto went to bed, leaving the 2 of them up, they had a lot to talk about and a lot to catch up on. Jiraiya had gotten to know Naruto. Despite being a pervert, Naruto liked the man. He had a cool vibes about him. Now, Jiraiya brought the news to her, for her to come back to the village. Before you go on your rant, there's a few things, he said. For one, I know you're strong, but enemies will be coming out of the woodwork. He saw the look on her face. They already have, haven't they? She gave him a simple nod. That is what I'm saying. You need the protection of Konoha to watch over him. I know, That is hard for you to think of coming back after everything, but there's a lot for you to come back to. For one thing, he will be protected. Him and Shizune will have the backing of countless ninjas. And another, the old man wants someone to run the hospital and train the medics there. You can fully take over. Konoha really need the medic training right now. Majority of them are just newbies and needs the help. Things are gonna get a whole lot dangerous out here. I was able to find you, and whoever it is that attacked you was able to find you as well. You can't always be there for Naruto. And right now he needs a protection until he's able to fend for himself. And out here is a very dangerous place. So I'm just asking you to think it over. You don't have to answer now or anything, just think it over. When you make up your mind, well, I guess we'll know, he said. Now, let's finish that drink, shall we? As Tsunade went to bed that night, she was in deep thought. The reason why she never wanted to go back to Konoha was all the people that she had lost. However, she now had someone that she would give her life for in a second. Someone that she would protect until her bones turn into dust. And she wanted to keep him safe. However, she also wanted Naruto to have friends his own age. Granted, Naruto has made many friends because of several places they went, but they were always moving around. She wanted to make sure that he grew up normally for a while. Friends, people to talk to, hang out with, even to get a little girlfriend. Although, they would be severely tested by her to make sure that they were right for her little boy. But still, she wanted that for him to be happy. She wanted him to be happy. And they were constantly moving around. He had no chance of happiness on the road. And the thoughts of going back to the village was just so painful, so she didn't know what to do. She was just confused. She would have to think it over. Yes, as she slept on it. Jiraiya stayed with them for a few more days. He also teach Naruto awesome jutsu, the swamp of the underworld technique. Jiraiya was shocked how fast he could learn it. This technique was difficult, and yet, in a few days tops, Naruto had it down. Once again, Jiraiya was able to notice why the kid was indeed special. Despite not being a Jinchuriki, he had a ridiculous amount of chakra. An insane amount, it was crazy. His control over his elements were also great for his age. In no time, this kid would be something great. Jiraiya told Tsunade to think his offer over as he returned back to the village to inform Hiruzen of the situation. He's been gone for some time now. Time skip. Tsunade was sitting down in her bed as she was thinking when she heard a knock. Naruto, she said, as Naruto stepped inside. She patted for him to sit down as she saw something was on his mind. What's wrong, honey? She said. I wanted to talk to you about returning back to the village. She raised an eyebrow. I overheard that man, Jiraiya, spoken about it. It sounded like you're needed there. I know what you told me about your past and about the people that you've lost. And I know it's hard, but there are people there that need your help. And I know that if you return, you would be a big difference there to change many lives like how you have done through the elemental nation. And that is your home village. But I know it's not up to me, but I just wanted to tell you what I was thinking, said Naruto. Besides, I think it would be pretty cool to be a ninja. You want to be a ninja, she said. Well, I was thinking it over, said Naruto. Going on missions, fighting and helping people as well. Training and getting stronger even than before. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Tell you what, she said. I'll think it over, okay? Really? She nodded. That's awesome, Mom, said Naruto. Well, good night. I'll see you tomorrow, he said, as he left. Now she was even feeling more to go back. Time skip. Naruto would not pressure his mother into anything. As a month went by, but she hadn't said anything about what he had told her. So he figured that she didn't want to go back. As much as he would like to go back and be a ninja, he didn't mind that much. At the moment he was sitting down, reading the Mokiton scrolls that was left behind by his great-grandfather. Naruto turned. Tsunade was standing there with a smile. I made up my mind, she said. About what? Naruto asked. About the village. And you're right. That's why. We're going back. Really? She nodded her head, as Naruto had a big smile on his face. He was happy to hear that. He was looking forward to it, to going to the Hidden Leaf, and becoming a ninja there. He was excited. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see the next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification as they posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other series of the other channels. Yes, I did a 4 of them, which I post what if on every single day for guys to enjoy. So go ahead, check them out, and yeah, enjoy. So without further ado or wasting more time, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace guys.